Example 2. A patient is injected with 156 milliliters of the drug. Every 8 hours, 22% of the drug passes out of the bloodstream. To compensate, a further 25 milliliter dose is given every 8 hours. So we want to find a recurrence relation for the amount of drug in the bloodstream, and then use our recurrence relation to calculate the amount of drug remaining after 24 hours. So let's start with finding our recurrence relation. Now we are going to let U of n equal the amount of drug in the bloodstream after 8-hour blocks. Okay, so for A, we're going to let U of n equal amount of drug. In bloodstream, and again we want to put a time limit, so after 8-hour blocks. So let's think about this. Just on the side up here. Now, we have a patient, so let's think about, we know we're starting and they're given 156 milliliters of the drug. But every 8 hours, 22% of this drug passes out of the bloodstream. So that means, I'll just move over to this side. So that means we're starting with initial 100% of the drug, and we're losing 22%. So after we lose that 22% every 8 hours, we're left with 78%. So you're left with 78% of the drug in the bloodstream. So that means if I started with 156%, I'm going to only end up with, after 8 hours, 78% of it in my bloodstream. But then a further 25 milliliter dose is given. So then after that, 25 milliliters is added. So to get, let's think about this now in recurrence relation terms. So to get my next value, so un plus 1, I know I'm going to multiply my current value, so u of n, by 0.78, because I'm decreasing by 22% and I'll end up with 78% of the value. But then 25 more milliliters are added. So that is my recurrence relation. Now for part B, we want to calculate the amount of drug remaining after 24 hours. So we have to remember, so we have 24 hours. Now we know there's 3 blocks of 8. So we're looking for U3. So this is what we're looking for. So U0, our initial value, was 156. Now to get my next term, U1, we know what we're really doing is we're taking our initial term of 0 and adding 1 to it. So what we need to do is take 0.78 and multiply it by my current term of 156. And then we're going to add 25. And you will get 146.68. Then to get U2, which is just U1 plus 1, we're going to take our 0.78, multiply it by our current value. So our current value is 146.68, and then we're going to add 25 to that. And then after that 8-hour block, we're going to have 139.4104 milliliters. And then after a third block of 8, so U3, which again is just U2 plus 1, we're going to take 0.78, multiply it by our current value, so 139.4104, add 25 to it, and I will end up with 133.7401. So that's the end of my 24-hour block. So after 24 hours, so we just need to write a closing statement here. So after 24 hours, he will have, or they will have, we don't know who the patient is, so they will have 133.8 milliliters of the drug in their bloodstream